Hello guys, welcome to Tarot Predictions. This is going to be your weekend reading, which will cover 12th, 12th and 3rd of November 2017. Before we start, I want to announce this week winner of the giveaway, and this is Laura Peterson. Congratulations, Laura. I'm waiting for your reply. So for your reply of your email, so I can send you the weekly reading, your personal weekly reading. If you want to be on Laura's place for next week, the only thing you need to do is to share any kind of post from my Facebook page that contains a link to a video. Now I want to remind you again that you need to unmark from your privacy settings who can see your posts, and you need to put it on public, or you have to be a friend of mine so I can see that you have shared it. That being said, we are starting with the Aries first. One card per star sign, guys. The first card for Aries, that is going to be the Hermit. So there are two ways how this card can unfold for you, Aries. That could be a sign that you really need a break. You really need a withdrawal so you can put your things together, put your thoughts together, and make a accurate to-go list, if I can express myself that way, for the next week. Set your things in order, and be more aware of what kind of measures and what kind of approach you need to take towards your situation. The other way of interpretation, however, which is more frequent, it's more often to happen, this is where you need to put all you got into a particular activity, into your life, either into your relationship or into your career, guys. This activity will require from you to be very intelligent, to be very wise as well. It is one thing that you need to take under consideration, is that you need to pay any kind of debt that you have whatsoever, so you may start the week that is yet to come clean. You started from scratch, because whatever you start at the start of the next week, or maybe at Sunday, is gonna have huge and long-term unfoldment for your future, and you basically should not bring up some obligations or some difficulties from your past with it. One more thing I want to say about this is that it is very likely, guys, that you are going to take a decision, a very important decision, Aries, is this this weekend for yourself, and there won't be many people to support you there. Actually, for most of you, there won't be anybody who is going to support you. There ain't going to anybody who is going to be there to applaud you for the decision you take and for the direction you're about to go. However, this is because your associate cannot fully understand you, really. They cannot see the things from your perspective. And even if that, as I said, there is no one there to applaud you, Aries says, this is the direction you really need to go. This is where your life is going to take on and become more meaningful. Next one, that will be Taurus. For Taurus, we do have the King of Pentacles. And so, Taurus, you are going to take a note of whatever you have at your disposal this weekend. I'm talking about as a resources, as well as options available in front of yourself. Why? It is because there will be a certain investment waiting for you in the very near future, into the immediate future, and you need to kind of like figure it out. Is it worth it, or is it not worth it? It is very important as well, guys, whatever difficulties you do have in this weekend, to bring certain connections you have, certain friends or certain authorities that you can into the matter. That is also very important. But whatever it is your situation in this weekend, you have to guard and you have to fight for whatever you possess, because this king really guards his boundaries, guards his estate, guards his home, if you want to say it that way, everything that it is his, and it is what you need to do during this weekend. Also, you need to know that sometimes going for a monetary success, which you can do, Taurus, in this weekend, can grant you such. However, going for it alone, it's going to give you a lonely existence, if I might express myself that way, because there will be no one there to share it with, and Your values, your wealth, your treasures will only count when there is someone that you can share with them. So don't overlook the spiritual growth for the sake of the material growth during the weekend. For Gemini, we do have the Five of Swords. You have to be very careful, guys, this weekend, because you may encounter false promises, you may encounter sneaky people, people that are trying to slink and take away things from you. I know, even say this isn't even taking away, it's kind of like robbery. But they will try to deprave you from something, and it doesn't have to be something material. They may try to deprave you from your idea, to bereft you uh, from your accurate, diagnosis and judgment upon your situation. So it is very important that you are very, very careful where you are placing your trust at and whom you are trusting as well. This is something that you should have it as a second name of yours, because it does look like that you may be betrayed by some of your friends, just so you know, during this weekend. Also, but on the grand scheme of things, this card rather points to a unrealized potential that you do have. You have untapped thoughts of yourself, which, if you tap into them, guys, you can achieve great things. And it's very important for you to live for the moment right now. You should not have any remorse or regret of for the things that have happened in the recent past, and right now you need to live for the immediate future only, either into your career or into your relationship as well. For Cancer, we do have the Magician. Guys, this is a wonderful card, because this card shows that no one actually can take away from you what you have as an intelligence, as a skill, as ideas, as a vision of the future whatsoever. So no matter how much people will try to convince you other way around, they will not succeed into this agenda of theirs, because there are always these kind of people that are trying to see us down and not realizing our full potential, and you will be shielded from those kind of people. Speaking of which, guys, this weekend you need to make your unique contribution into your matters, without help of anybody else or without the vision of anybody else. A fantastic card if you're happening to work into this weekend, guys. It does look like that some of your ideas are going to bear fruit and you are going to acquire a new skill as well. But the most important thing with this card is that this weekend you should really, really rely on your communicational skill. Your communicational skills are your secret and most powerful weapon for getting what you really, really want. The next one, that is going to be Leo. And Leo, for you, we do have the Page of Swords. So that could be the child you have, guys, or it could be your girlfriend or your boyfriend as well. Either way, you need to accept their tackling with you with a little bit more lightly, and not as serious as you are expecting it right now. I mean, you need to take the things more toward the joke side, toward the jesting side, than toward the serious side. It is because these people, they're really trying to figure out something on their own, and yeah, they may scrape down your nerves in the process of doing it, so but after that, if you allow them to kind of like reach to their own personal conclusion, they are going to be very grateful to you that you have actually trusted them. Okay, if this isn't a person, then it does look like that you have, Leo, some certain role to play this weekend, and it doesn't necessarily you are going to like it, but in order to pass through these kind of circumstances and these kind of activities, maybe in your family or into your career or relationship, whatever, you have to play the fool. Well, yeah, you have to play the one who doesn't know anything. You have to play the one who actually doesn't have the sense, of how the things needs to work out. But this doesn't mean that you need to follow anybody else. Also, this card could be a sign of a certain arguments with a person which have a very, very unstandard and very, very keen mind, or oftenly this person fails to explain themselves. You could be that person as well. Fail to explain themselves. It is because a certain facts they know uh, are how can I explain it? They know certain things which they expect the other people to know, but and this is their undoing. This is why people cannot understand you. This is why people cannot really tap into your thoughts. This is because you think that what you know, it's a mandatory to be known from for other people. So if you do really have that communication or struggle with your family or with your boyfriend, bosses or whatever, try to be more, try to elaborate more upon the things that you really need to explain, and the things that you really need to lay down on the table and want people to take a note on them. For Virgo, that is going to be the Judgment card. And Virgo, well, how can I place it in words, guys? Well, first of all, this card could come as a reunion, a teamwork. Okay, you, for example, and your colleagues are really uniting upon a very, very brilliant idea or a certain solution of a project, going despite and against your supervisors and your bosses for the greater good of the company. It could be also reconciliation with your ex-boyfriend, with your ex-girlfriend, for example, or with a friend of yours that you haven't heard from them for a very, very long time, and the last possible, communication or the last possible tackling in between you two haven't ended very, very well. But this card also comes as a circumstances or a follow-up of a recent choice you have made, Virgos. A choice that you have to live with, a choice that right now is kind of like playing out for you, and it is giving results for you, and very soon you have to make additional choice for the life that you really need to move on with, okay, and to get a long way. So it is very difficult to explain because this card has a very broad direction. What I mean, it could actually affect any single thing in your life. It could affect, your child, your hobby, your relationship. But the thing is that something is happening for you, something from a great importance, something from that has a huge impact upon the grand scheme of things, and it's going to present you with the direction of your life, with a path that you will start walking on, and that path of yours have been chosen in the near future, and right now you need to really recognize it and start moving on it as making a conscious choice to take full responsibilities of what you have chosen in the past. I hope that this makes sense to you guys. Next one, this is going to be Libra. For Libras, we do have the Knights of Pentacles. So this weekend, Libras, the circumstances you will be involved at will require from you two things. First is to very well know what you really want from, I don't know, from your career, from your approaches of your career, or from your boyfriend or a girlfriend, from your family, whatever, because these circumstances that are going to happen, they will have a undestructible impact upon your future. So this is why it's very important that you are quite aware and you strive directly toward what you want. This sounds simple, but it is not exactly simple, because people like drama, people like to play out. This is exactly what you should not do right now, okay? Because one act of presumption, one act, for example, let me give you that example. Let's say that you want you and your boyfriend or you and your girlfriend, to start living together. And instead of saying it directly, you start playing games with them. This is exactly what you should not do, because even if they understand you, they won't budge. So you have to keep the things simple. This is what I'm trying to say this as a second thing. You need to keep the things simple and take one step at the time. This is also very, very important. If you are feeling under stress, that card is saying, guys, that you need to take a little bit of time among nature, in parks, in the woods, if you want to say that way. If you do have cottage in a certain distant village as well, that is going to give you a great benefit. Another thing I want to say about this card, Libras, is that this weekend it is time for forgiveness, guys. It is time to forgive yourself that you aren't perfect, and it is time to forgive the people around you, and especially people that you love, that they aren't perfect as well. This is a card showing that you need to accept people for what they are, because they are going to accept you for what you are in return, and then we will have that harmony in one communication, in one relationship, you know, and in one friendship, and so on. For Scorpios, we have a real follow-up of the Ten of Swords for the midweek here, guys. That will be the Three of Swords. And regardless what happens, well, I did experience it in a certain way, you know. Regardless of what happened, guys, you need to live through that pain, whatever that pain is, you know. It could be a bad memory, it could be, as I said in the previous reading, it could be a firing, it could be breakup, you know, it could be a fight with your parents, or you could be betrayed by someone that you have really trusted. Either way, the longer you deny the pain, the longer you're trying to resist the pain, the longer it's gonna take for you to mend your heart. And it is very important to mend your heart, because this is the only way, Scorpios, that you will set your heart free. For example, if you really had that breakup, if you allow yourself to suffer for that breakup, and I know that this is hard, guys, I know, because I am a very, very powerful Scorpio, and I know that we deny suffering, you know, but it is very important to allow ourselves to do so, because as I said, we will be able to set our heart free. We will be able to embrace the pain as something that it is improving us, okay? And after this period of time, after these couple of weeks, we will quench actually our emotional state to a point that certain circumstances that happened in the recent past, they will no longer be able to devastate us as they did, and right now, and they will not be able to desolate our lives in such a measure that they had in this couple of days that have passed. In a more practical level, this card shows, guys, that no matter how much we try in a certain activities of yours, project, you know, or an enterprise into our relationship, unfortunately, as soon as we make one step forward, something is going to happen, and it's going to set us to step backwards. So I would advise you, Scorpios, not to take any major actions this weekend. You know, just don't, guys. It won't end up very, very productive for you. And one more thing as well, you will be most productive and most, how can I place it in words? You will work best when you are cornered, when you are under pressure, when you have that deadline, when you have that squeezing of your boss, and so on and so on. So yeah, being under pressure, guys, actually will let the monster out. And under the monster out, I'm talking about aggression, but I talk about that monster which denies failure. Then we do have Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is for you. We do have the High Priestess. So guys, nothing really is gonna happen for you in this weekend, not at all. It will be so calm weekend that you can't imagine, but your relationship is going to improve in a very, very deeper level. This card only have a reflection to your relationship. In career, basically the card says that if you happen to work, you will just attend to your ordinary duties and nothing else is going to happen. However, into your relationship, this card suggests, guys, that you will strengthen the bond of souls in between you and your partner. In other words, you will start sensing them even better. And for what is worth, This card also suggests to follow your intuition, and under your intuition I not mean these um, hunches that you may have. Okay, this is a how can I explain? This is a inner wisdom and an inner voice. Sometimes, without having a theoretical explanation, we do know how things works and we do know our answers. And this is our inner voice talking. So you need to follow your inner voice. This is very different from intuition, just so you know. You need to follow your inner voice, and your inner voice can be followed only through silence. What I mean is that you should not follow up any people's advices here, but only or kind of like you should shut down yourself for other people's opinion and advices. Then we do have Capricorns. This will be rather tense weekend, guys. Five of Pentacles. What we know about this card is that it represents difficulties at mainly all fronts. Difficulties in your career, probably because lack of time, probably because lack of resources, lack of finances, and so on. Difficulties into your relationship because you may not have what you're really expecting from your partner, or their behavior may really throw you off balance in a certain sense. And what these difficulties are going to do for you, it's going to make you doubt in yourself, make you doubt in your relationship, make you doubt in your career, make you doubt in basically in one standard of life. So what is important here to know is that your mental perception, or rather like the ability to make to make a mental discernment through the matters, is most vital here. Only if you have that calmness of mind and you are capable to logically explain those feedbacks and logically explain to yourself these difficulties, only then you will see that the only insecurity that there is the one that you are implanting to yourself. So in reality, there isn't that big of insecurity. Yeah, you may face a certain threats, but they won't be as big as you make them. Okay. Also, it is very important with this card, guys, to realize that regardless of what kind of difficulties you're facing during this weekend, you are not alone in this. Okay, you can always reach out and grab the hand of somebody, because we do have two people here struggling with the winter. And as I said, you are not alone in this. There is also someone else who is struggle with your difficulties, and you can combine forces. Next one, that is going to be Aquarius. For Aquarius, we do have the Knight of Wands, guys. And Aquarius, this weekend you will be the light that shines there for the people into the darkness. As a matter of fact, wherever the darkness is highest, is is more darker, or darkest, this is where your light is going to be brightest. So start helping people, guys. If you don't have anybody else to help, basically devote yourself into an activity that will be very, very productive for yourself. It's going to amuse you, it's going to enthrall you, it's going to make you feel not just productive but useful, not just for yourself, not just for other people, but for the world overall. It is a new journey that you're gonna take, guys, and the journey starts now. If you do have troubles, Aquarius, to define what exactly you need to do, if there isn't anybody for you to help, then you need to experiment. Okay, you need to see which things are giving you interest or making you interest, which things are enthralling you to attend into them and to bring them to their very end. And then you can see exactly what kind of activity you need to take on. Talking about your career, guys, well, this could be a help that you need to give to your coworker that is going to go for a long run, or it could be a bunch of projects that you will have, but none of them is going to be in a particular deadline and so on. And from it, you can can actually choose which one is going to be most productive for you, which one is going to make you happy to work on. Talking about your relationship, this is going to be a very playful period of time where you and your partner are going to experience many different things that are going to only increase the passion toward a positive end into your relationship. And last but not least, we do have Pisces. Pisces, for you, that is going to be the Nine of Wands, guys. Difficult weekend from a certain point where you will actually start losing inertia, start losing vigor and energy, because you probably have been, I cannot say tired, but overburdened. You have tackled, for what it seems, with a certain activity for a quite a long time, and now is the time to take a certain break from it and indulge yourself with the perks of the trade, with the perks that life presents to you. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that you really need to give yourself a little bit more attention, and you need to pay a little bit more to your personal needs. It is very crucial, because as I said about that thing that you have tackled for quite a while now, it is merely over, okay? Not merely, but nearly over, okay? But you need to gather up more strength in order to push it through. That could be something into your relationship. You know, you may lead very serious conversations into your relationship, and you really need a little bit of break from them, so you can acquire a different perspective, so you can acquire a new strength, renew your recuperate your strength, you know, so you can get back into it and finish what you have started. Also, with your career, guys, you may also need to withdraw a little bit, so you can gather up as well strength and to finalize a certain project. This is what you need to do this weekend, and you really need to have that patience, okay, through perseverance, because this thing ain't gonna go anywhere. I mean, it is waiting for you to finalize it, and you can afford a couple of days, guys, of rest, couple of days of indulgence, couple of days of recuperation. So that was your tarot reading, people, for 12th and 13th of November 2017. And thank you all for watching. If you do want a private reading with me, you can purchase one at www.tarotpredictions.net, written here in the description of the video. If you wish to support this channel, you can make a subscription as well on the link that is also written here in the description of the video, guys. And as soon as you click it and you go to that page, you will find a full description of what you're gonna get in return for your subscription. So yeah, don't let's not forget to applaud again Laura Peterson for winning the giveaway. And again, guys, if you do want to be at her place, only thing you need to do is share a video post from my Facebook page, which is also written here in the description of the video, and you have to share from this weekend reading to the next one, okay? So obviously the more shares you do have, the more chance you have to win. That being said, guys, I wish you a productive weekend, and we're gonna see each other around. Until then, bye.